All right, diving right in today. We're tackling a topic I think a lot of us have wondered about. Those subtle signs, when a woman's romantically interested.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be looking at some excerpts from a video. 8 signs she wants you to touch her.
Okay.
Now, I know that title sounds maybe a bit forward for some, but think of it like this. We're going to learn about nonverbal communication, which, let's be honest, comes in handy in every aspect of life.
Absolutely.
Not just, the dating scene. Have you ever been in a situation where you're like, wait, is she into me? I have no idea.
Oh, 100%. It's like you're trying to decipher a code you only know half of.
Right. So let's break it down. The first sign from this video is all about compliments. But not just any compliments, it's those specific compliments about physical attributes. What do you make of that?
That's really interesting, actually, because think about it. If someone compliments your strong arms or your nice hands, it kind of suggests they're noticing those details, almost like they're picturing, maybe subconsciously, some sort of physical closeness.
Oh, interesting. I always thought those were just casual observations. So It's not about the compliment itself, but the underlying...
The subtext, yeah. It's they're painting a picture in their mind. And in that picture, there's some physical contact.
Okay, I'm starting to see it now. All right, so moving on to sign number 2.
Mm-hmm.
She invites you over to her place,
Mm-hmm.
which, okay, obviously a more intimate setting. But what's the deeper meaning behind that?
Yeah, you got to think of a woman's home as her sanctuary.
Right.
It's her personal space that she doesn't just share with anyone.
Right.
So if she's inviting you into that space, it indicates a high level of trust and comfort, of course. Now, that doesn't automatically mean, hey, let's jump into a relationship.
Right.
But it definitely opens the door for connection. Think about it this way. She's basically saying, I feel safe enough with you to let you into my world.
It's a good point.
Yeah, but remember, respect her space. Don't, push things too fast. Let things unfold naturally.
So building on that idea of physical closeness, sign number 3 is all about those little, subtle touches, like a brush of the hand or, hand on the arm.
Oh, yeah. Those little touches that seem, insignificant.
Right.
Those are actually pretty important. It's she's testing the waters. Seeing how comfortable you are with physical contact, will you reciprocate? It's a way for her to initiate without feeling too vulnerable, because women, let's be honest, they often fear rejection too.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like a low-stakes way to check if there's a spark, I guess.
Exactly. And how you respond to these cues matters. If you pull away, it can, signal disinterest. But if you lean in, even slightly, that encourages more interaction.
Okay, on to sign number 4, body language. This is a big one. What are some specific things we should be looking out for?
So this video mentions a few things leaning in during a conversation, open posture, and even, and this one might sound strange, the direction of her feet.
Wait, her feet? So I'm supposed to be staring at her shoes now?
No, not staring. Just be observant. If her feet are pointed towards you, that generally means she's engaged, wanting to be closer. But if they're pointing away, she might be thinking about something else or just not as interested in the conversation.
Huh. Never would have thought of that. It's like our bodies are constantly giving away little clues, even when we don't realize it.
Totally. Sometimes our subconscious speaks way louder than our words.
All right, sign number 5 is one I've definitely experienced. The accidental bump. Walking side by side and suddenly bump. Do you think those are always accidental?
Well, let's just say sometimes there might be a little bit of intentional clumsiness going on there.
Oh.
It's a fun, playful way to create a little moment of connection, to inject some, playful tension.
So instead of being oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I should be, teasing her back?
Yeah, exactly. Lean into the playfulness of it. See where it goes.
Got it. Okay, what about sign number 6? What does that one tell us?
This one's all about leaning in. And, not just physically, but emotionally, too.
So if she's leaning in during the conversation, it means she's...
It means she's interested, yeah. But it's more than that. It shows trust, a desire for that closeness.
Okay.
And the key here is to kind of match her energy. If she leans in, you can subtly move a bit closer, too.
Mirroring her movements.
Exactly. Show her you're feeling that connection, too.
Gotcha. All right, what's next on the list?
Sign number 7 is about using humor as a way to, incorporate touch.
Like a playful tap on the arm or something, or pretending to, fix my shirt.
Exactly. It's another way to initiate that physical contact, but in a really lighthearted way, non-threatening.
So it's about being comfortable with touch, but, disguised as a joke. But isn't it possible that some women are just naturally more, I don't know, touchy-feely?
That's a great point. Context is everything. You have to look at the overall vibe, her reactions to your cues. Does she seem open to those playful touches? If so, great. If she pulls away, give her space.
And last but not least, sign number 8.
Hmm.
This one's all about reading her reactions, right? To kind of gauge her comfort level with, well, everything we've been talking about is like this constant back and forth.
Yeah, it's like a dance. Observation, intuition, and most importantly, respect. It's not just about seeing the signs, but about responding to them in the right way.
So how do we do that? Like, let's say you're noticing a few of these signs, you're feeling like there might be mutual interest. How do you take things to the next level without, I don't know, making it awkward?
I think it's all about calibration, taking those baby steps, See how she responds and adjust accordingly. Don't try to rush things, let the connection kind of build naturally.
So instead of like going straight in for a kiss, maybe try holding her hand first. Or putting an arm around her.
Exactly. Start subtle, see what happens. If she seems into it, then you can, gradually escalate things. But if she pulls away or seems hesitant, then you gotta respect those boundaries. Give her space. Like I said, it's a dance. You lead, she responds, and you adjust your steps.
Okay, I like that. It takes the pressure off a bit, right?
Yeah.
It's not about like figuring out the perfect move. It's about just being present and responsive to the other person.
Exactly. And honestly, sometimes the best thing you can do is just communicate. If you're unsure about how she's feeling, just ask.
Good point.
Open and honest communication, that's huge. It can prevent so many misunderstandings, and it builds a stronger foundation for any relationship, whether it's romantic or just friends.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
And speaking of communication, we've talked a lot about reading her signals, but what about our own body language? Are there things that, we might be doing unconsciously that could send the wrong message?
Oh, absolutely. We all have those little nonverbal habits, and sometimes they can totally work against us. Like, for example, crossing your arms. That can make you seem closed off or unapproachable.
Right.
Or avoiding eye contact. That can make you look disinterested. Or even like you're not trustworthy.
So if you're interested in someone, you should try to keep your body language open, like arms uncrossed, facing towards her, and make eye contact, but not like creepy eye contact.
Yeah, exactly. Eye contact is huge. It's a really powerful way to show you're interested, and it builds connection. Just, don't stare her down, but try to hold her gaze for a few seconds longer than usual. It shows you're present and paying attention.
There's so much more to our interactions than we realize. It's
Yeah.
like this whole secret language going on beneath the surface.
That's what makes it so fascinating. And honestly, the more we understand about nonverbal communication, the better we can connect with people, build stronger, more meaningful relationships.
I'm starting to realize that a lot of this advice isn't just for, like, dating. It applies to pretty much every social interaction, like networking, making new friends, even just trying to make a good first impression. Being aware of those signals, both the ones you're sending and the ones you're receiving, can make such a difference.
You're so right. These skills, they're transferable to any situation where you're dealing with other people, and the more you practice, the easier it gets. It becomes second nature.
So it's like learning a new language. It might feel a little weird at first, but the more you use it, the more fluent you become.
Exactly. And just like with any language, the key is to practice and to stay open to learning new things.
I've learned so much from this conversation. It's given me a whole new perspective on how we communicate. What do you think our listeners are taking away from this deep dive?
Well, I think they're probably starting to see that there's a lot more to communication than just words, right? And that by paying attention to these subtle signs, they can connect with people on a much deeper level in all their relationships, not just romantic ones.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We've covered so much, but it feels like we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore about this whole world of nonverbal communication.
Absolutely. And in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to zoom out a little. Look at the bigger picture. We'll talk about the broader impact of understanding these signs and how it can empower us in all areas of our lives.
Welcome back. We're wrapping up our deep dive on subtle signs. And man, it's been interesting, hasn't it? Like learning this whole other language, this unspoken language that's always going on.
It really has. We've uncovered how much these signs can reveal, especially when it comes to romantic interests.
Totally. But what I'm realizing is it's not just about dating. This is knowledge you can use everywhere. It's like a secret weapon in any part of life.
100%. Imagine like walking into a job interview. You're not just, spitting out facts from your resume. You're projecting confidence with your posture. You're meeting their eyes, picking up on their little cues. That's how you communicate on a whole other level.
Yeah. It's like you're already speaking their language before you even say a word.
Right.
And what about in friendships? Ever notice a friend seems off, but they haven't actually said anything? Maybe they're being quiet or their body language is all tense.
That's when this awareness is so powerful. It's about empathy, right?
Yeah.
Picking up on those unspoken things so you can be there for them in the way they need.
So it's not just about like getting what you want. It's about truly understanding other people, connecting with them on a deeper level.
Exactly. And here's the cool part. The more you learn to read other people's nonverbal cues, the more aware you become of your own.
Whoa, it's like a two-way mirror.
Yeah.
You're not just decoding them, you're understanding yourself better at the same time.
Exactly. You're not on autopilot anymore, sending out signals you don't even realize. You're in control. You're communicating authentically.
This has been so eye-opening. Seriously, I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for navigating like my entire social world.
And remember, this is just the start. The more you pay attention, the more you practice these skills, the more natural they'll become.
So to everyone listening, I say, keep your eyes open, look for those subtle signs, not just with romantic stuff, but everywhere. You'll be amazed by what you discover, both about other people and about yourself.
Couldn't agree more. Communication, it's a dance, not a one-sided thing. Be mindful of your own body language, what message you're sending out, and stay open to that constant, that back and forth of unspoken cues that's happening all around us.
Well said. That about wraps up our deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep connecting.